Welcome to the deep dive, where we like to really get into some complicated topics. And today we are going to be talking about artificial intelligence.
AI. Yeah.
And specifically some of the debates that are swirling around.
Right. Yeah, because there's a lot we don't know, but
Yeah.
there's a lot we need to be talking about, right?
Absolutely.
Good questions.
Huge questions. And you have brought a stack of research with you.
I have a giant stack.
Articles,
The paper.
legal analyses, all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of stuff, yeah.
So where do we even begin?
One thing I think that comes up again and again is the question of bias in AI.
Okay.
And one of the sources that we have here actually talks about Amazon's AI hiring tool that they ended up having to abandon because it was showing bias against women.
Oh, yeah, I remember that story.
Yeah.
That was a while ago, but I think it really kind of,
Big wake-up call.
yeah, like, whoa.
Yeah.
This is real. This is
real.
Science fiction.
Yeah, this is happening now, and it's showing us that, AI can actually learn and amplify the worst parts of our own biases.
So it's not just like a dumb machine it's taking in.
Right. It's not just dumb.
It's junk.
It's learning from us. And if we're feeding it biased data, it's going to spit out biased results.
Oh, that's terrifying.
It is. And it's not just in hiring. We see this in healthcare algorithms, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was this research that came out showing that some of the algorithms they're using for treatment decisions can actually lead to racial disparities in healthcare.
That's awful. So we're talking about, addressing life and death decisions.
Potentially.
Potentially, yeah, to these machines.
To machines that may be making biased recommendations.
Wow. Okay, so that's one huge area of debate is how to prevent AI from becoming this
tool of discrimination.
Yeah, exactly. What else is sort of bubbling up?
Well, another big one is this tension between security and privacy, especially when it comes to things like facial recognition.
Oh, yeah. Facial recognition is huge. And we've got a source in here that talks about how Europe has decided to ban Clearview AI because of privacy violations. But then on the other hand, you've got China going full speed ahead with their social credit system, which relies heavily on facial recognition.
Yeah, it's such a stark contrast, and it really highlights those different values and approaches to AI around the world.
Just like Europe is saying, nope, we're not doing that.
Privacy first.
Privacy first, and then China's like, well, security is...
Security trumps everything.
More important, right?
Yeah.
So it's a very different approach, and it makes me wonder, where do you draw the line as an individual?
Yeah, how much privacy are you willing to give up in exchange for security? Or should those things even be...
In conflict.
In conflict,
Yeah, huge question.
Good questions.
Okay, well, let's move on then to what is considered kind of like the holy grail of AI.
Ooh.
Artificial General Intelligence.
AGI.
AGI, yeah. So this
is where it gets...
The idea of a machine that can basically do anything a human can do.
Yeah, any intellectual task.
Yeah.
That a human can.
And we've got some pretty divergent opinions on this.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
So, on one hand, we've got Yann LeCun, who's a big name in AI research.
Leading AI researcher.
Yeah, and he seems pretty relaxed about the whole AGI thing.
He thinks it's not an immediate threat.
Yeah, he's like,
He's looking at where we are now and saying,
yeah,
we're nowhere near that yet.
Yeah. Okay, and then on the other hand, we have Elon Musk, who's like...
blaring the alarms.
Yeah.
Existential risk.
Yeah, the robots are going to kill us all.
Skynet is coming.
So it's like these completely opposite ends of the spectrum.
And it's hard to know who's right.
Yeah.
But the fact that we're even having these conversations, I think, shows how important it is to really start thinking about the implications of this technology.
Yeah, like what could happen if?
Yeah, what could happen.
This actually became...
in reality.
Okay, so we've got biased algorithms, we've got facial recognition surveillance, and then we've got the, just mind-boggling idea of AGI.
Yeah, we're really grappling with some fundamental questions here about...
Yeah, what does it even mean to be human?
What does it mean to be human in a world...
in this world...
where AI is playing such a big role?
Yeah, and it's not just theoretical anymore. This is real stuff happening right now.
This is real-world stuff.
Right.
Real consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well, we've got a lot more to talk about.
I've got a lot more to dive into.
We've only just scratched the surface.
Just scratched the surface, yeah.
We need to talk about how governments are trying to regulate this whole wild west of AI.
The wild west of AI.
And what's happening with AI on the battlefield and in healthcare, even in art.
That's right. AI is touching everything.
AI art, that's a whole other
conversation.
Yeah. So we've got a lot more to unpack.
We do.
So stick with us.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
We're back, and we are still deep in this AI stuff.
Yeah, before the break, we were talking about the ethics of it all.
The ethical dilemmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, and things get even more ethically dicey when you start talking about AI in warfare.
Oh, yeah.
One of the sources we have actually talks about this ongoing debate at the UN about autonomous weapons.
Killer robots.
Yeah, you know.
Like the slaughter bots.
Slaughter bots. Yeah, I mean, remember that video that was going around online?
Oh, yeah, that was terrifying.
Terrifying, right? Swarms of these tiny drones that could just
identify and eliminate
targets
without any human intervention.
It was like a Black Mirror episode.
It was like a dystopian nightmare.
Yeah, and it really brings up this question of, what happens when you take humans out of the decision-making loop when it comes to killing?
I mean, it's one thing to have AI helping soldiers in the field.
Right.
But to have a machine deciding who lives and who dies.
Right. Autonomously making those decisions.
That's scary.
It's a very unsettling thought.
Yeah. And the technology is there. Like, we're not talking about science fiction anymore. This is stuff that's being developed.
So what are the arguments in favor of that? I mean, I can't.
It's hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
But some people argue that autonomous weapons could actually make war more humane.
More humane how?
The idea is that a machine wouldn't be driven by emotions, like fear or anger.
Yeah.
It wouldn't commit war crimes out of revenge or panic.
Okay, I can see that, but what about mistakes?
Right.
Machines. Malfunction algorithms can have bias. What happens if it makes a wrong call?
Exactly. And who's accountable then, right? Is it the programmer? Is it the manufacturer?
Yeah.
It's a very, very messy situation. And a lot of critics say there's no way to guarantee that these weapons would always make the right decision.
Right. Even if it's technically perfect. Is it morally okay?
Is it morally? Yeah. Should we be delegating the decision to kill to a machine?
I don't think so.
A lot of people don't think so.
Yeah. A lot of AI experts are actually calling for international treaties to ban these kinds of weapons.
Okay, so AI is changing warfare.
Yeah.
And maybe not for the better, but it's also having a huge impact on healthcare.
Huge impact, both positive and negative.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. One of our sources here says that AI could revolutionize diagnostics.
Okay.
Algorithms that can look at medical images and detect diseases way faster and more accurately than any human doctor.
Oh, wow.
That could be amazing, especially in places where there are doctor shortages.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But there are downsides, too.
Like what?
Remember the bias problem we talked about?
Oh, right.
If the data is biased, the AI could make a wrong diagnosis.
Okay, and even if the data is good, what about human oversight?
Yeah, where's the human in all this?
Yeah.
Like, what happens when the AI makes a mistake?
Who's responsible?
Who's responsible, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of debate about how much autonomy we should give these AI systems in healthcare. Should they just be assisting doctors, or should they be making decisions on their own?
I don't know about that.
It's tough, right?
Yeah.
It's a tough question, and it really highlights the need for clear ethical guidelines and regulations.
Yeah, so we've covered war, we've covered healthcare. Where do we go from here?
Let's talk about jobs.
Jobs, okay.
Because AI is about to turn the whole world of work upside down.
I think people are excited and terrified at the same time.
Absolutely.
About that.
One of our sources actually predicts that by 2030, AI could automate up to 45% of current work activities.
45%? That's almost half the jobs.
Yeah. What's going to happen to the economy?
Yeah, what are people going to do?
Big questions, and there's no easy answers. Some people think AI will create more jobs than it destroys.
Okay.
Others are predicting mass unemployment and social unrest.
Wow. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure.
It really is. We're at a crossroads.
Yeah.
And it all comes down to how we prepare for this future. Some people are saying we need to invest in education and retraining to help people learn new skills.
Right.
Others are talking about universal basic income.
UBI.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah. It's a guaranteed minimum income, whether you have a job or not.
It's a big idea.
It's a big idea, and it's controversial.
Yeah.
But it's gaining some traction as a potential solution to this problem of job displacement.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about how we as a society adapt to it. Yeah.
What kind of future do we want?
Yeah. What do we want this to look like?
Exactly.
Okay, well, this deep dive is really making me think.
Me too.
About all this stuff. We've gone from the battlefield to the hospital to the workplace, and now AI is impacting every aspect of our lives, it seems.
It really is, and we're not done yet. We still need to talk about how AI is blurring the lines between human and machine creativity.
Oh, yeah. AI art.
AI art. That's a whole other can of worms.
I can't wait to get into that.
Okay, so we've talked about war, we've talked about robots taking over jobs, and now we're going to talk about AI art.
AI art. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is where things get really kind of philosophical
Okay.
because we're talking about creativity and, what does it even mean to be creative?
Yeah, like is a machine capable of creativity or is it just mimicking?
Right. Is it just copying what it's seen before, or is there something more going on?
Yeah, and I know some artists are really freaked out about this whole AI art thing.
Yeah, understandably so. I mean, you have these platforms like Stable Diffusion and DALL-E 2 that can generate these incredibly realistic images just from a text prompt.
Yeah, I've seen some of those things online. It's like,
It's mind-blowing.
yeah, how did a machine do that?
Right. And it raises all these questions about ownership and copyright. Like, if an AI creates a piece of art, who owns it?
Yeah, who gets the credit?
The person who typed in the prompt, the company that made the AI. It's really murky legal territory.
Yeah, and I know there's some lawsuits happening too, right?
Yeah, there's this case where a group of artists is suing Stability AI, the company behind Stable Diffusion.
Okay.
They're saying that Stable Diffusion was trained on their copyrighted artwork without their permission, and that it's basically ripping off their style.
So it's like the old debate about, inspiration versus imitation, but now it's like,
On steroids?
yeah, on a whole other level.
Yeah, because if an AI can perfectly mimic a human artist, what does that mean for the value of human art?
Right, like, is it still special? Is it still art?
It's a really tough question, and there's no easy answer.
So how are artists responding to all of this?
Well, it's a mixed bag. Some are definitely seeing AI as a threat, like it's going to put them out of business.
Yeah, I can see that.
But others are actually embracing it. They're using AI as a new tool for creative expression.
Like a collaborator almost.
Yeah, like a collaborator. They're using it to generate ideas, explore new styles, and even create art that they couldn't have made on their own.
Wow, so it's changing the whole landscape of art.
It really is. It's shaking things up, and it's forcing us to rethink what art even is.
So we've covered a lot of ground today. We've talked about AI bias, we've talked about killer robots, we've talked about the future of work, and now AI art.
It's been a whirlwind.
Yeah, it really has. And it seems like AI is touching every aspect of our lives, whether we realize it or not.
And it's just going to keep growing and evolving.
So where do you stand on all of this? What do you think about the rise of AI?
Yeah. Are you excited? Are you scared? Are you somewhere in between?
Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, let's keep this conversation going.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI. It's been a wild ride.
It has.
But it's a conversation we all need to be having.
Absolutely.
Because the future of AI is ultimately in our hands.
That's right.
Thanks for listening.